Hello and welcome to another video from EarnPED.com. I am StevieB, happy to have you all with us today. I am still on Next Island. These videos are all out of order, guys. I'm shooting them out of order. I'm not doing that intentionally. That's just kind of how it happened. And I will try and get them uploaded kind of in order. Sometimes I find stuff out as I'm making videos, and it might be video number 9 that I made, but I need to make it video number 3 for you guys. That way you guys get the information. So today I want to be sure and give the Next Island development team credit where credit is due. Unfortunately, I have been here for almost 2 weeks and I am still trying to get Socrates to meet me and trade me the piece of Ascension armor that I earned last year. So far that has not worked. We did try and get together the other day. I actually caught him when he was on, and he was going to trade me after an event, and then I guess he forgot because he just kind of logged out on me, which kind of sucked. But, you know, it happens. I get it. I understand. But today, that's not what this is about. I want to really, truly give them credit where credit is due. The first thing I want to do is get to moving in-game. I'm trying to find some Chimera, level 15, to hunt. As you may have seen in another video I made a few days ago, the Chimera are one of the things that you can hunt that have the piece that drops, excuse me, guys, for the new upgradable incision plates. The armor plates themselves drop from bore, and then you have to get upgrade pieces, put them in a refiner, and you can upgrade them all the way to perfected. Very similar to the plates that were originally on Crystal Palace, or still on Crystal Palace. Very similar to one of the missions I believe they have on Cyrene. Very, very popular mission, very, very popular plates. Very similar to the Serpent plates from the Gorgon mission, from the Gorgon wave. So I'm hunting Chimera, but the reason I'm doing this is not because I want to find the Adjusted Sinew that would be used in the Incision Plate mission. I'm doing this for a totally different reason, and it is one that I absolutely love. I think Next Island has done a tremendous job all the way around with this, and I really want to give them praise where praise is due, because you guys have to remember, for a long time, Next Island was a dead planet. They fired the development team like 3 times. They went through several management changes, and they also refused to listen to players. So I got into it over a year ago with them. I said, you know, if you guys would listen to us, this is not a great game. It's a horrible game. If I want a good game, I'll go get a PS5. But this game has a real cash economy. That's what people are here for. So if you don't fix your loot pool to where it doesn't have all these random crystals that are useless with no demand and no markup and no usability, nobody's going to really come. You have to do something that is going to attract players, and to do that, you've got to give them a chance to make money. That's the whole point of a real cash economy game. Doesn't mean everybody's going to be playing smarter, not harder, but at least make it where the loot pool doesn't absolutely suck, right? Make it where all these useless crystals have some kind of a use. Well, they have really taken that to heart in a lot of the stuff they've been doing lately. So you'll notice I have 3 missions here for an EIR MK1, 2, and 3 blueprint. Each blueprint has 0.15 attempts, is what I'm reading this as. So a limited blueprint with 15 attempts. But what do they do? What do they make? Well, first of all, let's look at what we have to do. To get this blueprint, you need to hunt 2,000 Chimera. That's what I'm currently doing. To get the MK2 blueprint, you need 3,000 stereo ropes. And for the MK3, you need 5,000 centaur. So obviously, you're going to be churning a lot of PED to get these blueprints. Well, the reason these blueprints are valuable is, let's take a look at what they make. And I want you to look carefully at this. It's a new Fap. You see what I see? When used, effects when used, increase reload speed by 10% for 8 seconds. Now, this is what I like to see out of limited items in game. This is what I like to see whenever we have something that requires me to kill 2,000 Chimera just to get my hands on a blueprint. This is what I like to see, a limited item that not just everybody's going to be able to farm endlessly. It's going to take some effort to farm it, then you're going to have to craft it. And not only does it do great heals, but increase reload speed by 10% for 8 seconds. This is the kind of Fap that will make fapping for hire a thing in-game again. This is the kind of Fap that will make there be demand for fappers during events like Mayhem or like Gold Rush or like the robot events or stuff like that. This is the kind of FAP that people will be like, hey, if you're a FAPper, this is the kind of FAP I want you to have. Because when you FAP and you use this on somebody, they're going to have 10% increased reload speed for 8 seconds. Now, that might seem like a lot, but especially if they're hunting a bigger creature where they're going to need constant fapping, think summer migration, this is going to be very, very important. And sometimes that extra 10% when you're healing can make a big, big difference. I have lifesteal on my rings. So for people that have lifesteal, the more damage I can inflict, the more I heal myself. So if I take a critical hit and I need fapping, you hit me with the FAP. Not only does it heal me a little bit, but now I can shoot faster. So as I'm shooting, I'm healing myself even faster also. Now, the first FAP, the one that I'm going for here, you'll notice I'm not even maxed out on it. Skill to use it, paramedic, is 25. So the learning period is 25 through 35. So really you have to be over level 35 paramedic to use it. So you're going to be in Civ for 10 levels. 25 through 35. So notice I'm 26. I'm at the very, very low end of using it, which is why I don't quite use the full amount, and I'm down a couple of heals per minute. This can actually be used every 2 seconds. So theoretically, you could just fat bang this thing all day long and just have 10% increased reload. Now, it being a limited item, it is going to deteriorate. You're not going to be able to repair it, right? But then let's look at the other two. Now, remember, this is the first one, and I'm even too low level to have it max. So let's look at the second one up. The first one's the only one that does reload speed. The second one up, it is learning period 40 through 50 paramedic, and it does 75.8 through 101 heals per use every time it's used. When it's used to full effect, again, used every 2 seconds. This one, increased critical damage for 8 seconds. Now, again, you might think, well, that's not super useful. Yes, it is. If you're, again, a fapper for hire, again, something like summer migration, and you're having to fap constantly, that increased critical damage matters. If we look at the MK3, what we see is 113 through 151 heals, learning period all the way up to paramedic 75, 3 times as high of paramedic as where I am. Again, used every 2 seconds, and this one does 2 things. Increase critical damage by 15% for 8 seconds. Increase critical chance by 1 percentage point for 8 seconds. Now, a thing that is lost on a lot of players, you can have all the increased critical damage in the world. If you don't have increased critical chance, it doesn't help you much. That's the problem that I'm currently having, is I've got Earthshocker armor, I've got Devastim FEN pills, I've got Salafa MK3 laser sights. I can max out critical damage all day long. I don't want to use all those items in combination if I can't also use increased critical chance and have it maxed out. If there's any of my fellow Stevies who are very, very good friends with me that have an Easter ring from the past year or two that does like 3, 4, 5% increased critical chance, please send me a private messaging game. Mayhem is currently going on. That's going to be something I'm going to need to talk to somebody about. I really need to get my hands on one to use in the defense category. Because if not, I'm probably going to end up putting the Salafa MK3 laser sights up for sale, and maybe the Devastim FEM pills also. I really don't want to use them unless I've got that increased critical chance maxed out. So the good thing about this FAP is it doesn't just increase your critical damage output, it's also increasing the chance of that critical hit happening in that 8-second window. I love it. I love it because most of the lower level players who are going to be hiring healers for hire, they're going to want the increased reload speed. And then, true to form, when you're talking about the larger players hunting the larger creatures, the increased critical damage is going to be where it is at, as they're probably going to already be running pills and rings and already have their reload speed maxed out. Now, that would be enough. If that was all I had to talk about in this video, I would give Next Island the slow clap for making something correctly, for doing it right, for listening to the players, for learning how the game really works from the players' end. It's like they finally hired a consultant and said, you play this game 24 hours a day. Help us understand what we don't understand about the game. And this is something that's been missing from the Next Island development team for a very, very long time. They were looking at it going, it's an MMO. People do it for the social aspect. People do it just because they like doing waypoint missions. People do it for whatever their theory was, whatever their reasoning was. I don't know, but it wasn't the reason that players play. It wasn't the reason that we come here. And I tried to tell them that a year ago. They didn't listen, but they're listening to somebody now, and that's what matters. They're headed the right direction, and I want to give them praise for that. I want to thank them for that. I want to be sure they keep heading that direction. I am not joking when I say there's an extremely large chance Next Island is going to be my new permanent home away from Cali, outside of Mayhem. They are doing that good of a job. They're doing that good, being headed in the right direction. That can also be a little bit of a two-edged sword, because if too many people get away from Cali, Mindark's obviously not going to be happy about that. But they're really doing that good of a job. Now, will I really seriously be here all the time outside of Mayhem? No, I'll still spend a lot of time on Cali. I'll still spend a lot of time on the mothership. But Next Island is truly doing that good of a job that I will be here a lot of the time. A lot of the time. I cannot stress how often I'm going to be here. Now, I want to look at something else they did, because everything that I've covered already in this video, that's enough. That's enough to give the development team the high five, to give Socrates the high five, and to say, you know, you've come a long way from the days, years gone by, when you had an event to tame a pet that had auto loot, and we all warped out here and spent money for a week, and you let the entire thing go on, and then 3 hours after the event ends, we were insulted and told, oh, well, it was programmed with auto loot by accident, and then we advertised it. We advertised it by accident. It wasn't really auto loot. What happened with that event, plain and simple, was Mindark did not want low-level players being able to easily go tame hundreds of auto loot pets. But when Mindark did that, I understand they shot Next Island in the foot. I think Next Island should have just been transparent and said, hey, we got shot in the foot with this. But even then, they did the right thing, because they made a little robot buddy that I've nicknamed Roomba that you can get in Ancient Greece. I've tamed him in a different video. I'm sure you guys know all about this one. So they even came out with this with auto loot to compensate for that. So, you know, that was appreciated, and that showed me that they were heading in the right direction. But let me show you how far in the right direction they've really gone. So in another video, again, I'm shooting these out of order, so it's very possible that you guys will see this video first. I did the Crystalline Core Daily mission, where you manufacture crystalline cores. Now, what is a crystalline core? A crystalline core, back in the old days of Next Island, was used to make the time travel crystals that you needed to get to ancient Greece. The theory was that people would craft those, people would buy them, and then that would be how people would get back and forth to ancient Greece. Because the whole original storyline, I'm not going to go into every bit of it because I don't know all the lore around Next Island, was that the Next Island we're on now is current day Next Island. However, there was an old version of Next Island in years gone by, in the ancient days, that was almost identical to ancient Greece on Earth. So the whole theory with Next Island was it was a sci-fi planet, but you could travel back in time to when it was ancient Greece. And, of course, because of the mismanagement of the planet and the dev teams being fired and stuff, the whole time travel thing never really stuck, which is why they kind of did away with the whole time travel crystals being needed to get back and forth between ancient Greece and Next Island. So one thing that I love is the crystalline cores. That was their whole purpose, was to make those time travel crystals. And when it very first happened, I'm sure those crystals probably had markup, and so did the crystalline cores. Well, you know, without the time travel thing, the crystalline cores are kind of pointless, and the daily mission, I guess, is okay, but why would you do it all the time and craft something useless? Well, enter Next Island taking it a step further and doing the right thing on top of the right thing. Again, it's not just enough to make sure that your loot mix is full of stuff that has markup or has uses. All those useless things that were already in the game, already in the loot pool, that people already had in storage and were still looting, you had to find uses for that, right? Well, let's look at the blueprint you get whenever you complete this mission of killing 2,000 Chimera. Remember, it's a limited blueprint with 15 clicks, 500 Danburite crystal, 30 Lesser Elysian, 30 crystalline core, 10 boartail, 30 refined Sorin stone. Now, let's look at this. 30 Lesser Elysia. Do we know any daily missions off the top of our head where we can craft Lesser Elysia? Oh, yes, the one that gives us the tailoring skills at Tanzanite View, right? Cool. So now, yet another reason that Lesser Elysia has markup. For years, Lesser Elysia had no uses, no markup. It's now used in several blueprints on Next Island. It's actually got demand. It's actually got markup. I happen to have some on me right here. Market value, 118%. 500 PED were sold just today. 120% for the month. 6,000 PED this month. They have done a tremendous job of creating demand for something that was previously absolutely useless. But look here, crystalline cores. So those same crystalline cores that used to be used in the time travel crystals, now they're used to make this fab. They had no other use, as far as I'm aware, but now they're used to make this fab. That is amazing. Not really sure what danburite crystal is. I'm sure it's probably one of these crystals that just tends to drop. Could be something special, not sure. Boratel, refined Sorenstone, I'm sure not super hard to find. But the fact that they're using 2 of the 5 inputs, and those 2 inputs used to have no markup, no value, no demand, and now they have markup, now they have demand. I did the crystalline core daily the other day, and I noticed, it was the first time I'd done it, I just wanted to give it a shot. I noticed, these things have actually been selling on auction. That's weird, because nobody makes the time travel crystals anymore, so why would they sell? Well, the answer is these Faps. Because people don't want to go do that daily, they want to just buy them off auction, pay a little bit of markup, and be able to make these Faps, because the Faps are what's valuable, not the crystalline core themselves. Now, you guys are going to get to see it live, because I have not looked at the other 2 blueprints yet. So somebody just found a rare incision plate improved, which means that they had found the incision plates, found the adjusted sinew, found the improved sinew, gotten everything else needed, and they made one. Cool. I recently saw a complete set being offered for sale. There was no price attached. Somebody was just shouting about it in Cali Trade. So glad to see that people are here doing the incision plate upgrades. So I haven't looked at these other 2 blueprints, but let's look at the other 2 blueprints and let's see what we can glean. Obviously, they're blueprints for Faps that are well beyond my skill level, but I still want to check them out while I've got you guys, and then we'll wrap up this video. So MK2 blueprint. Synthite crystal, so I'm sure another crystal that usually doesn't have a lot of uses. Lesser releasing, crystalline core, borehead, dark listerium. So we're seeing the same thing that we saw with the first one when it comes to these 2 right here. And for the MK3, quartz, lesser releasing, crystalline core, boreheart, concentrated phlogiston. Some of the weirdest names in this game. So a lot of stuff like boreheart, borehead, tails, all that random stuff that used to drop used to not have any uses, and now the Next Island team is really doing a good job making sure a lot of those crystals, a lot of that stuff in the loot pool that for years had no markup, no demand, and that we've just TT'd the crap out of, is suddenly back. There's a blueprint, I believe it was the Hero Sword, that was a blueprint from ancient Greece. It was an old unlimited blueprint. I saw one on auction about a year and a half ago, and I don't even know who bought it or if they bought it, because it required something that no longer dropped in the loot pool. Well, that very well might start dropping again because of the way things are going. That very well might be a blueprint we see be made again. It very well might be a weapon we see being made again. So a lot of things going in the right direction at Next Island. If they keep making missions like this, and they keep having those missions that have rewards like these blueprints, and they keep making those blueprints for limited items that are good for the players, good for the economy, and useful in multiple situations. These Faps are not just good for healers for hire, they're good for hunters, they're good for competition players, they're just all around good. And the fact that they're limited and can't be repaired, it helps the planet partner. It also helps constrict the supply, which will make the price go up. Not just everybody and their dog is going to come to Next Island and hunt thousands of creatures in order to get a blueprint to go craft a limited item when they know they're only going to get a couple successful results out of it. So that's going to constrict supply. It's not going to be something that's just easy to get. It's going to be something that's going to require specialized knowledge as far as the game, the weapons, what you're hunting, when you're hunting, and the fact that those blueprints are using something that used to be completely useless, that now can give low-level players a chance to maybe do it daily to get rewards they would not otherwise be able to get, and possibly be able to sell the end result for a little bit of markup and maybe break even, maybe make a little bit of a profit, maybe take a little bit less of a loss. They're doing so many things in the right direction. I literally cannot give them enough praise because these Faps are awesome. The way they designed them and made them limited, brilliant. The way they're constricting supply, brilliant. The way they designed the mission, brilliant. The way the blueprints are, brilliant. The way they are using stuff that previously had little to no use and now it has demand and markup, brilliant. It's all the way around exactly what I would expect from a planet partner who really wanted to see their planet shine, really wanted to see their planet be a major part of the Entropia universe. So I cannot give enough credit where credit is due. Now, on the same hand, you guys know me, the Next Island devs know me, everybody knows my personality. If you screw something up, I'm still going to call you out on it. If you screw something up, I'm still going to yell and throw a fit about it, because, again, this is a real cash economy game. Every screw up matters, but at the same time, everything in the right direction matters also. And the fact that we're taking these steps over and over and over in the right direction, I cannot shout from the rooftops enough how good that is. There are so many things about the loot pool on Next Island that have been fixed in the past 3 to 4 months alone. So many things, and this used to be the problem. Used to you get shrapnel, zinc crystal, chlorite crystal. Well, those crystals would have no use at all. There'd be no demand, no markup. It would just be TT food. And that's what the Next Island loot pool was filled with. I mean, agate crystal, fencite crystal, sodalite crystal, just all these random crystals. And it was like, okay, I don't need loot that's random crystals with no uses, no markup. I need loot where I can get stuff that I can either use or that I can turn around and sell for markup to other players. Otherwise, coming to Next Island was a losing proposition. And for a long time, Next Island was just that. It was a money dump. If you were coming here to hunt, you were just throwing away money because there was no loot worth getting. There was no loot with markup and demand. And they have done such a great job in fixing that. I'll put it this way. Used to, when I left Next Island, I just TT'd everything and went home. Now, before I leave, before I head back to Cali, I am going to have to go through auction, and I'm going to have to figure out, okay, what all am I putting on auction, and what am I TTing? And I have a feeling I'm going to be putting the vast majority of stuff on auction, and very little will I be TTing. That is how good it has gotten. So I really think they're headed in the right direction. I think if they keep heading in the right direction, they will continue to see success. I'm going to end this video, and then I'm going to start shooting another video that is going to elaborate on why the Ancient Greece shares have suddenly started paying out the way they have, and the epitome of what they have really done to really take to heart the things that they've been told to make this all go correctly. So big praise where praise is due. I want to see a lot of these Faps being used in-game. I want to see a lot more stuff like this being made in-game. So for today, I'm going to leave it right there. Sip, smack. Y'all know the rest. Hit that little bell icon. Hit that like button because there's plenty of haters hitting the dislike button. We'll be back with more content for you guys really soon. And if you guys want to help us out, head over to EarnPED.com because when you earn, we earn. EarnPED.com is by far the best way you can help us. See you in another video in a few seconds. Stevie's.